They have been global reactions following the first 100 days of Donald Trump's return to the U.S. presidency. But this time, we bring you a unique African perspective, from the heart of West Africa. What does Burkina Faso think? What's Captain Ibrahim Traore's stance? And how does this connect to French President Emmanuel Macron's controversial claim that Africa cannot manage itself? Let's unpack the story. But in this special report, we're not just asking how the U.S. is adjusting. We're asking, what does Africa think? What do world leaders say? And why is Burkina Faso, a nation often ignored in global politics, suddenly becoming a voice of quiet defiance? As Trump settles into his second term, one thing is clear: his America First doctrine is not going anywhere. With renewed focus on domestic industries, Trump has reintroduced tariffs on steel, agriculture, and technology, leaving many African exporters nervous. In global capitals, leaders are treading cautiously. Some, like Brazil and India, are attempting to renegotiate trade deals. Others, like Germany and Canada, are openly worried. But in Africa, the reactions are quieter, strategic, measured. Until now. In Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore isn't mincing words. Though he avoids direct comments on Trump, he is clearly shaping a message of defiance and dignity. In a national broadcast, Traore stated, "Africa must not wait for validation from those who once divided and exploited us. Our future is built here, not in Washington, Paris, or London." Before we proceed, here is a reminder to like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to our channel so that you can get more videos like this. It was a calm statement, but it struck deep. Traore is aligning himself with a growing movement across Africa, a movement that sees global dependency as the root of underdevelopment. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron has faced backlash for his statement implying that Africa cannot manage itself, a comment many see as patronizing and outdated. Burkina Faso's government, though diplomatic in tone, responded firmly. An official from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated, "Statements like these only strengthen our resolve to prove otherwise. Africa has the talent, the resources, and the leadership. What we need is respect and room to grow." He went on and added, "If France does not want to respect Africa and his people, Macron's footsteps will be wiped away from Africa permanently. If Africa is unfit to manage itself, Africans should choose who they wish to partner with, not Emmanuel Macron telling Africa when it's ready or not. Africans' leaders don't detect what decision is taken in Paris or Washington." In Burkina Faso, government officials issued a restrained yet firm statement. Comments like these remind us why we fight for sovereignty. Africa needs partners, not patrons. Traore and others have used this moment to fuel calls for economic independence, agrarian reform, and investment in African youth. While political statements dominate headlines, it's Trump's economic policies that may have the most lasting impact. Take Burkina Faso, for example. The country exports cotton, nuts, and minerals, all of which could face higher barriers in the U.S. market. Local analysts warn that tariffs could reduce foreign income, disrupt supply chains, limit job growth in export industries. And yet, in the face of this, Burkina Faso isn't backing down. Instead, there is talk of pivoting toward regional trade and local manufacturing. As the dust settles around Trump's early presidency and Macron's controversial rhetoric, one thing is clear: Africa is rethinking its place in the global order. Ibrahim Traore stands as a symbol of a new kind of leadership, proud, strategic, and unshaken by foreign pressure. The opening 100 days of any U.S. presidency typically attract significant attention, but Donald Trump's early term has been far from conventional. His distinctive approach to leadership and policymaking has ignited a spectrum of responses across the globe, marking his first few months in office as a pivotal period in defining how the world views his administration. One of the most immediate and controversial actions he took was implementing a travel ban affecting several predominantly Muslim nations. This policy triggered not only domestic backlash but also international condemnation. Countries such as the United Kingdom and Australia voiced serious concerns about the ban's potential consequences for global security and humanitarian principles. Trump also faced strong opposition over his stance on environmental issues, especially following his decision to pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement. This move drew widespread disapproval from global leaders, many of whom lamented the setback it posed to collective efforts to address climate change. The U.S. airstrike on Syria, conducted in retaliation for a chemical weapons attack, further intensified international discourse. While some nations supported the strike as a justified response, others criticized it as a move that could escalate regional conflict. Trump's engagements with global counterparts have been another focal point. His diplomatic interactions with nations like Russia, China, and Mexico have been closely monitored, often sparking debate and analysis. From Asia to Europe, leaders and citizens alike have kept a watchful eye on the new U.S. administration. Across many regions, there has been a prevailing sense of unease about where American foreign policy might be heading under Trump. Responses from foreign governments have varied. Some have opted for a measured strategy, maintaining communication with Washington while carefully voicing concerns about contentious policies. Others have adopted a firmer tone, openly criticizing Trump's positions on key international matters such as trade and global security. European reactions, in particular, have been significant due to the long-standing alliance and shared democratic ideals between Europe and the U.S. Many European leaders have expressed alarm about how Trump's policies could impact the future of transatlantic relations. One defining episode came during Trump's address at a NATO summit, where he called on member states to ramp up their military spending. The speech stirred apprehension among allies about America's dedication to mutual defense obligations. Furthermore, Trump's remarks on global hotspots like Iran and North Korea have drawn widespread international scrutiny. These statements have often been interpreted as provocative, contributing to a global sense of unpredictability in U.S. diplomacy. Neighboring countries such as Canada and Mexico have been especially outspoken in their criticism, particularly regarding Trump's stances on trade and immigration. Their reactions underscore larger concerns about how U.S. decisions might ripple through the global economy and affect regional cooperation. So where does that leave the rest of the world? Will Trump's America adapt to a more independent Africa? Will France step back and listen? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the continent is no longer waiting for permission to rise.